Hello, and welcome back to the Sapphic Studio Podcast. My name is Halie Torres, and I am your host. This podcast features my first guest ever on the Sapphic Studio Podcast. Her name is Irene Lee, and she is an artist with a focus in charcoal based in Sydney, Australia. So when we had this conversation, it was like evening, 7 p.m. for me, around 10 a.m. for her. And despite talking on opposite sides of the world, we were able to have a really insightful and heart-wrenching, inspiring, motivating conversation about Sapphic art. What drew me initially to her work is this stark contrast between her lights and darks and the way that she positions the bodies and draws women in this way that is empowering and also very intimate and gentle at the same time. The way that she crops her drawings and the focuses and the focal points in each of them is so strong and apparent, and it really draws you in to want to know more. She really understands what the female gaze, Sapphic gaze, is, and that's one of the things that initially drew me to her work. I could tell as soon as I saw her drawings. And it's so cool to see another artist that is in a completely different medium capturing that same emotion and feeling with the female form. I wasn't sure how long the interview episodes were going to be, but then I thought, two artists sitting down to talk about Sapphic art, it's going to be longer than 90 minutes. You know, if you're painting or drawing, or you're on a road trip or driving, running, working out, whatever you're doing while you're listening, just relax, enjoy the conversation. We go in many different directions. We start, with her experience taking a 20-year hiatus from charcoal and from drawing, art in general, a little bit more into her relationship before she came back to charcoal, her coming out, not coming out story, which you'll understand when you start listening, the censorship, like I just said, and also for both of us, a bit of a more emotional conversation about our parents and, how they react to our art and to our sexuality, and some of the mutual similarities that we share there. Overall, it was a very stimulating and, again, just energizing conversation. It's really amazing when you sit down with another artist and you just allow it to be what it is, and that's essentially the path that we went on. So without further ado, enjoy this conversation. Follow Irene. I'll link all her socials below, and check out her work. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see some visuals that we talk about, but if you're not, just go to her page and maybe try looking for them if you're doing something else. Yeah, without further ado, enjoy the conversation. Welcome to the Sapphic Studio Podcast. You were actually my first guest. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk everything Sapphic and art and queer, all the things.
Yes, all of the Sapphic things. My favorite thing to talk about. I wanted to start by talking to you about your art journey, and something that I picked up on just from researching and looking into your work was that you took a 20-year hiatus from charcoal. And we need to get into that. I wanted to start there because I can't imagine me not painting for literally a couple days, let alone 20 years of my life. So wherever you want to start,
That's a
with
really
that.
good place to start, because when people hear about that 20-year gap, it's like a complete shock. Like, what? Like, how can you not do what you do when you do it so well? Is most people's reaction. So when I first started being creative and doing art, it was in high school, and it was the one place, visual art subject, it was the one place that I felt like I could just be me. I wasn't doing anything for anyone else, maths, chemistry, all of that was for someone else, but my art was mine, and I could do anything with it. So it was my safe place. And at that time, being 16, 17, I just did cityscapes and things like that with charcoal. I loved charcoal because I got my hands dirty. It was very expressive. Like, I could make a mess, and you can't get pissed at me. I'm being expressive.
Exactly. No. Charcoal's hard. That's another thing.
Yes, a lot of people
respect you for that, because I've tried charcoal. It's difficult to work with.
Yes, because it is messy, and you don't want to make a mistake. Like with pencil, it's really easy to erase and take
Yeah.
away. With charcoal, it's like, oh, it's there.
Yeah, like you're going in with charcoal. Like that is
Yeah.
not coming up. Like the little kneaded eraser, like you're gonna need
Yes.
a lot of them to get it up.
Yeah. So art was my safe place in high school, and I just did cityscapes. I never thought about drawing people because when I did, they were always faceless because my whole thing was I can't draw people. And at the time, just for more background, I felt quite alone in the world. So drawing faceless people was a reflection of how I saw the
Oh,
world. Like
wow.
I could be surrounded by hundreds of people, but I felt like I didn't know them and they didn't know
Oh,
me.
wow.
Yeah.
I love that interpretation because I don't do faces either, but I've never thought about it like that. Like not seeing, like feeling like you're not a person or like you're not, or
Yeah.
just
They
feeling so
don't see
alone.
me.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Feeling
You're
unseen.
every single day passing by so many people and they have no idea who you are and what you're thinking. And I don't either because I don't reach out. So a lot of my art was like that cityscapes, walking through faceless people.
Yeah.
And after that, I didn't feel the need to do art for some reason. It's interesting because, you know, in Australia, you have to do a certain amount of subjects, and art was my haven. The
Yeah.
other subjects I did was so that I could go to university. Art was my safe place. And when I got into university, similar to you, graphic design.
Yes. Graphic design. Oh my
But
gosh. We all went
you
for
see,
it.
yeah, we're like, well, if you're into art and everything, you got to go into graphic design. It's the
They were
natural,
really selling graphic design. Like that was the one for sure.
yeah. But you kind of soon realize that yes, I'm doing something I'm into, but like there's no soul.
Yeah.
There's
I
no
get
soul in
that.
it.
Yeah.
But I did it anyway because I was like, I need to get a job, I need to make an earning. This is what I'm supposed to do. So
Exactly.
I didn't go back to drawing. I felt like the graphic design was enough of me
Hmm.
in the work that I didn't need to go back to drawing. Now, 20 years
That hurts my
later,
soul. Hearing that.
yeah, like because I also think about uh, what kind of artist would I be today if I did continue. But at the same time, the artist I am today, because of the 20-year gap, I think is a different person if compared to if I were to continue like all those 20 years. It's interesting because
Yeah.
the thing that was the catalyst to come back to art was pain.
Always is.
Yeah,
Isn't
right.
that
It's like
wild? Yeah.
you have to express yourself
Yeah.
and you have
It's got to
no
come out.
vehicle. Yeah. So I think the pandemic, I think COVID uh, was
Yeah.
really, really hard for a lot of people. And it was for me. The lockdowns in Australia was quite, it was really tough to
Yeah.
be in many ways trapped. Uh, and so I, at that time, was like crying inside, essentially. I felt like I was like 1,000 paper cuts, right? It's like, okay,
Yeah.
can't really go anywhere. You can't really do anything, but you kind of have to do the things like you normally do, work and all that. So it's not like anyone's getting hurt or anything. It's just 1,000 paper cuts. And over time, it it wears down your soul.
Definitely.
Like the 3 months in, and you're like, I'm crying and dying inside. I need to I need to do something. And I was telling a friend about it, and she was like, why don't you draw? you haven't drawn in a long time, Irene. Why don't you draw? And I'm like, you're right. I should draw. And so I actually went back to my parents' house and I found all my old charcoal in my old room. And I took it all out. 20 years later,
Wow.
they're like
I know. I'm
completely
like
fine.
imagining doing that, like finding my old
Yeah.
tools.
And just
They
like
were waiting for
reminiscing.
you.
Yes, they were. And like prime, like they were completely fine. My old art paper, and I was looking through it and I was just reminiscing. And I was like, wow, how did I go for so long without, expressing myself through this medium? And the first drawing I did uh, after the 20 years was this eye, this close up of this eye. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like my first post in my Instagram. It's this eye, and you can see the reflection of the eye, and it's an unknown road ahead, and it's crying, the eye. Yeah, it's in my Instagram. It's actually downstairs
I'm
in
looking
my
right
house.
now.
I have a sad wall.
Oh gosh, sad.
So, yes, this is
A
my sad
sad wall.
wall.
I'm like, this
It's
is
in
my
this dining
sapphic
room.
wall. Meanwhile, a sad wall. I get
Yes,
that though. Oh wait, I see it. Yeah. No, I have seen this one. Wow.
yes. That was the first drawing I did after 20 years.
What
And
gravitated you towards the eye?
it's you know how we all have our own story, we all have our own pain, and the saying, eyes are the windows to the soul.
Yeah, I do.
And I think, like, going back to when I was a teenager, about passing by everyone and you don't know what pain they're going through. You have no idea what their story is. And I wanted like a big close-up of that, of me and how I was feeling at that moment in time.
It's powerful.
So from afar, it may just look like an eye. And then when you really look at it, this I was feeling very sad and not knowing the road ahead of me, because
Wow.
just for additional context, that was essentially the moment I decided to leave my husband of 7 years, who we
Wow.
share 2 children with.
Oh wow.
Yes. So it's like I made this decision, and there's this huge unknown ahead of me,
Wow.
and I drew it in charcoal.
It's beautiful. It almost looks like too, at least when I zoom, I don't know. For me, I see like a horizon and like light going through, like shining
Yes.
down. That's sort of what I see when I look at it. It's really beautiful.
Yeah. Like, I think just on a pure art level, it's like, oh, that's like a beautiful drawing, or that's a beautiful eye. But when you learn the story behind it, it's like, oh shit.
Heartbreakingly beautiful. It's like it's pretty metaphoric that the first drawing that you did is you seeing yourself almost and like and what was going on in the background, like you seeing. I mean, I'd imagine that moment was I can't even put words to it. Coming back to your art and that being the thing that grounded you in that moment. It's
Yes,
extremely
it's
powerful.
it is
It is. Like I'm like, "Oh my
kind
gosh."
of a little bit. Yeah, it's, what's crazy is that I drew that while I was still living with my ex, and he saw that drawing.
What did he say? What
He
was
didn't
his
say anything. He
nothing?
actually didn't say anything about it. He didn't ask me about it. Uh, yeah, it was like towards the end. So this was actually around Christmas time. And so it was the first time I decided not to be with family and be by myself.
Oh my gosh.
This is quite dramatic.
No, it's
I
important.
can
The
kind of
context
like,
is important, honestly.
I feel fine talking about it now. It's like been over 2 years. But when you're in it, art was my savior. 'Cause I don't know what I would do without it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I get it. It was always when I was in my lowest of low places before like I had personally come out, like it was the thing that like yeah, it was my breath. Like it kept me going and it gave me the voice that I mean, I'm not like a very loud person speaking wise. Like I felt my power was within the things I was making. And that, yeah, it's just like that changed my life when I realized that.
1,000%. And I hope everyone has that vehicle.
Hmm.
Um, like art is for me. It's like that, those popular memes where like there's like a lot of going on in your head and it's like a lot of sound. And then the moment you put a brush
Yeah.
or charcoal in your hand, it's
Yeah.
like quiet
Yeah.
and you can finally think. It's like a form of meditation um, for me. Yeah,
It's
because
it's like that movie. What's the Disney movie? Soul?
yes,
And they're all like in flow, like they get into their flow state and they're all just like happy and I don't know, I think of that movie and the visuals from it. But that's really how it feels like you're performing like your purpose in life. Like it feels like you're connected to it all when you're, creating, at least in my experience. That's why I'm here literally all the time. Like I feel my best when I am painting and working. Just really
yeah,
it silences out everything else.
1,000%. And when it's really bad when you're doing your art and it doesn't silence it. There are some times when you're like,
Oh
oh
yeah.
fuck,
Yeah,
I'm
no.
going through the shit.
No, it's like yeah, it's like a litmus test. Where am I at? Like how can I get in when I'm in a good space, it's easy to get into flow. But I mean, you don't get into flow every time. I don't want to make it romanticize it, but but no, even that, like even when you can't get into it, it takes care of itself. Like
Yeah,
you'll have a good session the next one.
absolutely. So yeah, I hope that answered your question.
No, it did. Wow. Like where what's
Where do
what's
we
the
go
next
from here?
No, thank you for sharing that though. I mean, I'm sure people are gonna be able to relate to it in their own way. And like we said, like hitting that whatever your lowest point is, like if you've turned to art, like what do we turn to in those times? And I think it's really powerful when it is something like art. And
Yes.
I'm
Actually, on that note, like when I left my partner and everything and actually had to restart, like recreate my new life, I found myself with a lot of alone time that I've never had before, especially when you're a parent. Um, and I sat there like one of the first nights just being in an empty house because I moved out. And I sat there, I was like, so I just watch Netflix? Like, do I just sit around and just consume media? Like, what do I do? I've
yeah,
never had this much alone time. And I thought,
wow.
Irene, you can't just sit around watching Netflix all evening.
Yeah,
Like,
like maybe like a couple times, but then it's like it gets
yeah, but
old.
after that, it's like,
It's
it's
like I can only binge so
only
many.
exactly. There's only so many times you can watch the L word.
Yeah, I was
Like,
just gonna say.
you can't just be sitting around. So I was like, Irene, you can't just be sitting around all day. This is just, you're going to become a zombie. You're going to lose yourself even more because that's what
Yeah,
happened to me in my marriage. I lost myself. And I'm like, I'm not going to trade one thing for another that's just going to result in the same thing of losing myself. I was like, well, you just started drawing. Just keep doing that. Like,
yeah,
just keep doing it. Draw whatever you want. No one is here to tell you if it's good enough, if I'm doing the wrong thing, the right thing. Like, just draw. And so I did. And then you can see the evolution of
yeah. I
my
was just gonna say, as I'm scrolling through, what transitioned you to, or what drew you to drawing to drawing women and sapphic art. I'd love to hear that transition for you,
yeah.
or kind of how that went.
Uh well, I've always admired women. the power that we possess. And when I look around at existing art, I find I have troubles connecting with it. It's the male gaze, right? It's always the guy and what they care about it.
Yeah, let's not mention
and
that.
I'm looking at it, I'm like, I can't connect with this art that I'm seeing. I want to create what I want to see.
Yes.
So initially it was more my craft, like, okay, build up my charcoal skills again, try to teach myself how to do this. And then after a short time, I'm like, I want to draw what I want to see in the world. And maybe other people want to see it too. And I also find that, because I use reference photos, I can't like draw from my imagination.
Oh, neither do I.
Yeah,
People are always like, is that a reference? I'm like, yeah, I always use reference. Like,
yeah.
you try to use a reference and do it. Like, honestly.
So I always use reference photos. In saying that, a reference photo has someone else's perspective already. And what I tend to do is I look at that and I'm like, I still see the male gaze in that perspective. I'm going to put my own flavor to it from my gaze, because I feel like, not to like pigeonhole or whatever, or generalize, but I find a lot of the male gaze is about objectifying the woman. You know, this is someone I
retweet
possess.
Yeah, because it's very possessive. It feels like a possession. What can I inquire?
And I really don't like that. Like, that's not my vibe.
No.
Like, for me, it's like, we should be worshipping women.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
And letting them be, just allowing them to be the subjects, not making them objects.
Yes, and like putting them in some sort of box.
Shell, yeah, box.
Of what you think we are. And so I take a reference photo and kind of like take that layer off.
Yeah.
And
just
put
push
my
it to
own
the
layer
side.
of, and put my own layer of admiration. This being is so magnetic, and I want to show that through charcoal. And the reason why I like charcoal is it's black and white. So I find it really powerful in the play between light and dark. I find that with that medium, I can make it more provocative.
Yeah, no, I love the black and white.
Yeah, you take the color out, and what do we really see? What's the raw
vision?
What's really happening here?
Yeah.
But I admire artists that can do color, because color is so hard.
I haven't done a black and white in a while. I did a couple black and white studies, and it like you said, it's like it cuts out kind of that noise we were talking. Like it's just you're focusing on what's actually happening and not the noise around it. And the contrast that you capture too with your charcoal, it's strong, like it's powerful. You can feel it. It's just, I love them. Sorry, I'm looking through as you're talking about them. But,
it's just like, it's just raw. There's nowhere to hide almost.
Yeah.
Like when you put something that's color and black and white the same moment, you can get distracted by the color.
Have you ever done color or just black and white? Have you ever tried like colored pencil?
I have. I've done 2 colored drawings. They're on my sad wall.
Oh, you need to send me the sad wall after this, please. I want to see it.
I'll send you a picture of the sad wall. One was like a color, so it's red and blue, and it's a woman using her hair to hide her eyes, her face, because she's in a lot of pain. and there's a transition between blue and red of like the sadness like coming over her, and she's kind of hiding.
Yeah.
And then another one which is full of color, but her body language, she's like crouched and like hiding. So even though you see bright colors, you know the energy is so full of sadness.
It's all in the body
It's like,
language too. I
it's
think,
like that contrast.
yeah, and the body language in your pieces, I mean, it's very strong. It's like I think body language conveys a lot more than facial expressions. At least that's what I think in my work too. Like the way that you position a body has so much to do with the vibe, the overall mood and the vibe, even if the colors, like you said, are super, super vibrant or like colorful.
Absolutely. I find there's a lot of power in how you crop a moment,
Yeah, for sure.
because you like there could be a scene and you see the whole picture and it's like, oh, everyone looks fine, everyone looks cheery. But then you crop to one person and you see, only part her face or whatever. And you realize, wow, there's a lot of sadness in her.
Yeah.
I think cropping is very powerful.
Oh, it definitely is. I really love the one of just the back, the woman's back. You can like see
The
her
yin yang
muscles.
one?
Yeah, I really love that one.
Yeah. It's on my phone, this one, right?
Yes, that's what I'm looking at. Yeah. Oh, I like the case.
Yeah. It's I did this on purpose because like it's already hard to meet people in real life. So I was like, I want people to know that
But
I'm into art and into naked women.
I was gonna say into art. I was gonna say into naked women or into women, basically.
Yeah, into women.
Like you don't
So I
wear a
was like,
rainbow bracelet, like you're just
no,
holding up your
yeah.
phone case. I love it.
So I'm like, I'll just whack that on my phone. I'll always have it around me. It's on my table and whatever. And people do ask about it. It's like, oh, that's really cool. And I'll be like, oh, thank you. I drew that.
That's a good idea,
Yeah.
honestly. I need to take that advice and start making some.
Yeah. I think it's more subtle than like putting like a t-shirt, for example. It's just,
Yeah.
I can always like flip it over
No,
if I
like
don't
I'm
want other people to
thinking
see.
of me using that at the gym because usually there's like a lot, like I want people to know I'm gay, but when I'm at the gym because of all the gym bros, I'm like, ew. But like if I had a phone case like that, they would know.
Would they? Would they though? My
Actually,
my
probably not.
my gaydar is like so bad. It's so bad. It's like, oh fuck. Oh shit. I've been swearing. You can just
Oh
bleep
no.
those.
I was like, honestly, I forgot to tell you that you can swear on this.
I
So you're
can?
good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just do explicit and I've sworn. Swore.
Okay.
Sworn. What did I just say? No, you're good. I love
Oh,
that though. Your phone case. I need to
yeah.
get those.
Yeah, definitely. I need to update it. I need to do something different, I think. But yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites because it's the yin and yang,
Yeah, I see that.
the
Wow.
black and white.
I
And the
love
model was so nice. She was like, "Oh my God, my butt is on someone's phone case
it.
in Australia."
What draws you to specific models or, photos? It's something that like pulls you into a specific reference photo.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like photography out there, boudoir,
Hmm.
and everything like that. So there's no shortage of it. But what draws me in is what is unseen.
I love
uh,
that.
so I find a lot of photographers or photography in general is quite explicit. Like it's obvious what they're trying to convey. Oh yeah, she's beautiful. Oh yeah, it's sexy, whatever. But for me, it's like, what's unseen here? What's not being said here? Because there's something here. And not all photography is like that. So when I see it, I'm like, wait, there's something here. And I feel like I can elevate it with a tighter crop, a different kind of crop, and putting charcoal to increase the moment, the contrast, to really draw in what's unseen here.
Yeah.
And then what's unseen is actually different for me, for you. It's open to interpretation, but it's like taking a second look at a moment.
I think the sapphic gaze, or the female gaze, however you want to call it, is what you're describing, like searching for that narrative, searching for that story, like the story that's there, but like it's not just like a simple body picture. Like there's something in it
There's something there
that we grasp and we want to take and just like push out there. Like, this is
and
it.
like, I want to frame it, and
yeah, it's
I
beautiful.
want you to see it.
Yeah.
I want you to see her. I want you to feel her.
Yeah.
Because I think the male gaze is just more like, it's kind of
looks...
basic. Do you know what I mean?
It's like it's like a shell. It's like, okay, there's a beautiful woman there, but then it's like, but what is under it? Like, I always want to put like symbols in my work, or like have little Easter eggs, because there's more to the story than just the body or the shell of her.
Yeah.
The sapphic gaze is like the whole thing. It's like the entire picture.
Yes. So I'll scroll through my Instagram, and I'll be like, look, and then I'll be like, wait a minute, there's something here.
Yeah.
And I want to take it to the next level. And so that's what I do.
No, I love that. I know that we mutually were drawn to the Jelly-Filled Girls, because I did a piece of them, and I know you did a drawing.
I love your painting.
Because whenever I painted them, I found them on Instagram, and something drew me more to their story. Like, I don't know, they're great people. I've met them, but I don't know, there's just more to, if I can sense a couple's energy or their essence, it draws me into it. It's just
absolutely,
yeah.
They're not just two bodies coming together.
Yeah.
Right? And you see that in your painting of them, in that intimate moment. You're like, I want that.
That too. Yeah, I'm like, actually, can I manifest this for myself? Like, no, but it is. It's like capturing I love capturing those intimate moments. And I feel like your art, it's the intimacy. I did want to mention, this is like such a side note, but the censored drawing that you did is absolutely ridiculous. The fact that Instagram censored the one of the hand, and I'll put a picture of it so people know.
Oh my God, yes.
The hand
this
on
one,
her stomach, like,
yeah, it's
that took it down.
Yeah, it was in my.
I can't. No, it didn't.
It was in my stories, and within like minutes, it took it down automatically. It deleted it, and I'm like, "Are you serious?" Like,
it's a hand, and it's more abstract, the way that you cropped it and the composition.
Yeah,
it's like, I don't even understand.
Yeah, I was pissed. I was pissed.
That is stunning. Like, I love that.
How can you take this away? This is art. How is this anything but art?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it like draws you in, the hand. And for me at least, I'm like, do I want to be the hand? Do I want to be the body?
I want to be both. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, it's conjuring all these.
I really love that one.
Right? And it's like, it's so provocative, and it's like, it's not R-rated.
No, that is sensual and gentle. Like, there's like a landscape to it. It's giving me like a Georgia O'Keeffe landscape vibe. Like, the body almost looks like a hill, or like, I don't know. I see like a horizon too. I think it's really beautiful. That Instagram, does that ever deter you, like, from picking a reference? Because I know it's deterred me, I'm gonna be honest, because I'm like, I need to post it on Instagram or TikTok, but then I can't show a nipple or a butt, like God forbid,
I know.
or a
So bad.
boob. Like I don't know, it's ridiculous. Now I was gonna say I had my daisy painting with the hip, and I like had a
Yes.
camera in front of it, and it took it down, and it was in like my carousel, and it took it down. I was like, really? Like there's literally she has lingerie on, and you're gonna take it down? Like
I
whatever.
know. It's like the celebrities out there posting in bikini.
Yeah,
How is this?
it's yeah. It's like artists. We're just trying to share our art. That's all we're trying to do.
Exactly. Come on, AI bots.
I
Uh,
know. Sorry.
to answer your question, like, has it ever deterred me
Yeah.
in what I create and what I choose as a reference? When it first happened to me, I was pissed. I was like, what? I don't really like, how can you take that down? It makes no sense to me. And then I started reading all like the details of why it was taken, blah, 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 community guidelines, trying to protect the community. I'm like,
I'm
seriously?
sorry.
This is what you're trying to protect the
I
community
know
from?
all that's going on in the world,
Yes.
and you're gonna take down some sapphic art. Like, there's more things to take down on that app
Exactly.
than a
So I
hand
was like,
on, like, yeah, than a hand on a
so,
stomach.
so I was
Mm,
pissed.
yeah.
And then after being pissed, I was a bit disheartened. I have
Yeah.
to say, I was like, I'm just here trying to create beautiful art and share my art. It's connected with me with a number of people around the world that I normally wouldn't be able to. This was my vehicle, my haven, my safe place. And you're telling me that no,
Yeah.
don't do that. Stop that. And in my mind, like, I have enough of that shit in real life.
Yeah.
Right? I don't need it here in my place where I feel like I can express myself.
Yeah.
So I felt demotivated. Um, but then I was like, no, I'm not gonna let them stop me from doing what makes me happy. Uh, how could I let an AI bot do that? I
Love
think
the
it's
AI
ridiculous.
bots. Literally, though, that's what's taking it, that's what's censoring it. It's like you're not
Yeah,
even looking, it's a person's not even reviewing it.
exactly. It's like these algorithms are just wrong. So I was like, no, Irene, you got to do what makes you happy. You're not here to satisfy an AI bot. This is for
We don't
you. This,
draw for, yeah, we don't do it for the AI
yeah, we
bots.
don't. And so I was like, okay, maybe I'll just pull it back slightly, but I'm not gonna abandon what
Yeah.
I'm meant to do. Um, so then it was okay for a while, and then it kept happening, and
Oh,
it was
really?
becoming a joke. Yes, it kept happening. I kept getting censored. It became a joke. It was like literally a joke to me. It's like, this is ridiculous. This is stupid. Like,
So you just kept getting community guideline violations or
yes,
whatever.
yes,
So I've
yes.
heard
It's
this
like
with so
we
many
can't.
Sapphics creators. Like I hear this all the time.
Yeah, it's disheartening, and it's like your content won't be recommended to non-followers because it's inappropriate. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh my god, honestly. So I feel it's really important as a community to support each other
Yeah, it's
and
everything.
reshare each other's work
Yeah.
because a number of us are being censored. So new followers, it's a lot harder to come by because they don't see my work. Like when I was censored, like shadow banned, if you typed my name originally beforehand, you would see my profile. When you're shadow banned, you type my whole name, I'm nowhere to be found. You
Yeah.
have to type exactly
That's
the
ridiculous.
username. Yeah, it's crazy when you're like
I've heard
censoring.
it with just, especially if it's between two women, I would argue it's going to be over sexualized. But the fact that it doesn't show your name when you're literally typing something in, And how long does your name come up now, or is it just whenever it censors you, or like how long does it
it's
last?
you have to delete your content. You have to
Oh.
delete it. So
And that's
yeah,
just
I've
a
deleted a
total,
bunch of stuff.
that's just a total mind fuck, honestly, just to say it straight up, because you're creating something beautiful and that's coming from your heart and soul, and you're putting it out there, and then something AI bots are telling it it's not. And it's like, that is, it's, I've experienced it too, where I put something on TikTok and it gets taken down and I get shadow banned. And it's like, well, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just trying to share something with the world and just connect with people. And it's just, I don't like it.
I don't like it either. So I've had to archive like 20% of what I have, so people don't get to see it.
Have you ever thought about a like Patreon or something to have like more explicit drawings, honestly,
Yeah,
or
like my
explicit,
friends are like, go
just so you
on
could share
Patreon,
them?
go on OnlyFans, Irene. I'm like, seriously, guys,
I
this is
considered
work.
it for like a minute. I don't know.
These are some explicit charcoal drawings, guys. It's a
I mean,
hand
do
on the
honestly
stomach.
though, like it could work. People do really well on OnlyFans.
Well, at the moment, I feel like it's just a more difficult barrier to get my work out there. So it's a balancing act essentially for me at the moment. Like I share more sensual stuff on my stories. Uh, and when it comes to reels and posts, I know I have to pull back. I know I have to censor it because it will just shadow ban me. It's
I Have you ever seen artist? I'll try and find the artist and send and DM you um her work, but she does really sensual, like explicit stuff, and she blurs the top photo, and then on, I don't know how she does it, because they're really, I mean, I think she does censor though with like emojis on certain parts of the body, so you do have to censor, but they're still up. I don't know. I'm like, how can more sapphic people find you? Like, how can we come up with a strategy? Because
I
like
know. I
more people
my
need to.
strategy my strategy is my panda named Candy. I don't know. It's in my stories. I have a panda. I have a toy panda, black and
First, I
white.
was like, do you have a real panda?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. A toy panda named Candy. She's a stripper, and she is placed in certain areas in my drawings.
oh,
So I used it as a marketing thing. I was like, "Oh, you're being stupid. This is ridiculous. I'm not gonna do the normal traditional censor or pixelation. I'm gonna put a panda."
I love that. That's iconic
So
though.
some of my reels, my panda stuffed toy is actually in the background. Candy is she has my back. She'll go in and censor the part that Instagram doesn't
She is
like.
coming through for you, honestly.
Yes. So
Wow.
that's why I have a panda in random bits. Yeah, because there's a drawing up here. See,
Yeah.
I have to put Candy, my panda, there.
Honestly though, a butt cheek always gets censored. Um I usually don't paint them for that reason, because I know. But because I'm like, oh, I'm fine. I'll just submit to the Instagram machine. But I had to put like a peach, just like emoji on the one painting that I did. Like, because literally, I don't know if the AI bots like look for butts for sure. I'm
Yeah,
serious.
they no. I did one reel where it was just two circles, and it censored me, and
Stop.
I'm like, it's two circles. Like, come on. But I think because I had a history, so it's just
It
automatically
automatically,
censored.
they're like looking for you right now.
Yes, yes, they're looking for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I could go on and on about the censorship, because it shouldn't deter us from drawing or painting what we actually want to do.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. And
It's
like
art.
the stomach, yeah, and the stomach is actually part of a three 3-piece thing. And if you actually saw the original, here, I'll send it to you right now
Okay.
so you can talk about it.
Okay.
And also, I've told my kids this because I share my art with my kids. And they're like, Mom, why doesn't Instagram like bums?
Oh my God, I love this so much.
You see it? That's
I love
what
it.
it is.
That I need all
And I
three of
can't
these.
share it. And I can't share it. Like, I don't know, like, I will show it here right now on YouTube if I think it was okay, but like, I don't know if it's okay, so I'm not going to. But that's what it is. That's what it looks like.
I love the crop. I had an idea for a diptych where it was like a woman's body, then another woman in between her legs, but but you couldn't see because of the space. And this is oh my God, I love this. The fact you can't share this, I'm gonna try and put it. I'll have to censor it, I think, but
You explain so the
just
viewers
a
can.
body, yeah, broken up into 3 pieces. The hand one that we showed before will be in the middle, and then it's like her legs on the right side, her chest, there's a nipple. It's beautiful. It is stunning. And just the curve of the back on the way that you connected the back and the bed between all 3 of them. And I'm just staring at even the lights and the darks, like how you have the darks on the top and then the contrast and the inverse with the white sheet. It's perfection. I'm just gonna stare at it.
Thank you so much. And what I love about it is individually they work as well. It's like you don't need all 3. But when
Yeah.
you see all 3, it's like it stops you in your tracks and you're like, wow. It's a vibe.
What's the title or titles for these ones?
I actually don't have one. I should come up with one.
I wish the people could see it in its glory.
Yeah, just DM me, people.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to see it, message Irene and she will show you. Oh
I'll
my
show you
gosh.
what
Can
we're
you put that
talking
on your
about.
website though? Or like for prints?
Oh yeah, you're right. I can put it on.
Yeah, honestly, put it up. The people need to see
Okay.
that. That is too stunning for the people not to see.
Okay. That's a good idea. Okay, I'm gonna put
Find a
my website.
title and put it on. And I'm gonna hold you to it. Because the world needs to see that. I mean, that's my favorite.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Off of the Instagram, because we could go on and on about the censorship, but I hope that they start to be nicer, the bots. How has what was your coming out like? And did it have any, correlation to your art, or did your art influence it at all?
This is an interesting question. Interesting because I don't have a coming out story. And yeah,
Oh,
so in a lot of ways,
more.
I don't know if my parents know if I'm queer or not. I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like, why do we have coming out stories? Why is that a thing?
Yeah.
Like, why do I have to announce my preference? Like,
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
why? It's not like one day I decided that my favorite flavor of ice cream is hazelnut, and I am now going to pronounce it to the world. Everyone, you need to know that I love hazelnut. I could eat it every single day, and I don't want any other flavor.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. Why do I need a coming out story? Like, if I start dating a girl, I'll just say, oh, I'm going out on a date with a girl tonight, blah, blah, blah. Like, it should be just part of normal conversation. It's not. So for me, I don't technically have a coming out story. I like, people ask, oh, like, how do you identify or whatever? I'll just say it. Or, who I'm attracted to, I'll just say it.
Yeah.
But I don't feel the need to just tell you my preference for whatever reason. Like, what is it? Why is it your business?
Yeah, no, I feel like it's getting more and more like that. Like, I don't know. I was very vocal about my own coming out story in like 2019, 2020. Like I like did a video and like made the whole thing. But now it's like you just know, like from looking looking at my work, you know? It's like I don't know. I
The
love
good,
that it's becoming more and more that you don't have to. Because I think before it was just like so people could know that you were queer or however you identified.
yeah.
But
So in a lot of ways, my coming out only happened if I was coming out,
mhm.
like announcing it. It only happened like 2 years ago. Because when you're married to a guy and you have kids, people just assume you're straight.
Yeah,
They
that's
just
so
make an
true.
assumption. So when you leave that life and you start anew, and then people start asking you, "Oh, you like going out, blah blah blah," and that's when I say, "Oh, yeah, I'm on the apps, and the preference is just women."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like,
And you're just like, yeah, and I'm here and that's it. Like
"Yeah, that's it."
I
Like,
don't need
what's
to explain myself.
yeah? And then they go, "Oh, what's your type?" Blah blah blah. So we can like help you out,
That's
not coming
your
out
coming
story.
out, not coming out story.
Yes, yes. Like my parents have been to my house. They've seen my art.
What do they think of your art? Or do they ever
Okay,
comment on
so
it?
I live in a two-story house. Downstairs is my sad wall and some like sensual stuff. Upstairs, it's gay here.
Yeah, like
It's
you're
very
entering, yeah, the gay zone of
yes.
the house. There's the
So
sad. No, it's yeah, gay.
so they've only been upstairs once or twice, and I've seen my mum.
That's my mom too. I get it.
Yeah, but she never asked. Asian culture, we don't communicate.
Literally, neither does my mom though. So I totally get that.
Yeah. So
Sometimes
she,
better.
yeah, they will never dare ask me, what's this all about?
She's just like, huh. I'm just looking at it like that's what I'm picturing.
Exactly. So I don't know, like, I don't really, whatever. It is
That's
what
so,
it is.
yeah, it is what it is for sure. Oh
But
my
I
God.
do wonder about my kids
Yeah, you said
because,
you show them your drawings.
yeah, I show them like, oh, Ethan, Lucas, this is my latest drawing. And my kids are 4 and 7.
Okay.
And they've always seen my art since I've started drawing. And they've never like asked anything about it. They've not like, oh, why this? Why are you drawing this? They've never asked anything. The closest they've said is my 7-year-old has said, "Mom, you draw a lot of bums." And I'm like, "Yeah, I do. I like them." And he's like, "Oh, they're good."
Aw, he
So,
knows.
but yeah, one day I feel like he'll ask, "Mom."
Yeah, I guess, yeah, that
I
is
don't know.
young. Yeah, that is young.
But
And if,
yeah, they're still young. But what's interesting, I never really thought about it until we had a play date, like with one of his friends who's like same age as him.
yeah.
But he went upstairs and he was like,
It's
he
like,
was just like in shock. Like, like
like
there's
your
a
mom.
boob there, there's a thing there. I'm like, yeah.
Aw.
And his mom knows that I draw Sapphic.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm like doing anything, but it's just interesting to see one kid that's surrounded by
Yeah.
this versus
I was
another
gonna
kid that
say.
is completely, this is not his everyday. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
just made me think that's really interesting at a young age. My son is completely like, it's just a human body.
Yeah.
That's it. While another one is like so shocked by it.
Yeah. I think your kids are getting the right way. Like just being surrounded in it, and also just taking it in for what it is. Like, because I'm just thinking of down the line, they'll just be like, oh yeah, that's just a nude body. Like I don't know. Like I never saw nude art. Like my parents didn't have it, but like thinking about it, it would just be empowering to know. And like I would be more free, I feel, with it. Not that it's like, oh my God, I can't see that, like the other kid that had come over. But just I think that's amazing that you're exposing them to it so
Yeah.
that as they grow, they'll just pick up on that. It'll be more
Yes.
natural.
Absolutely. And even around the conversations about families and what families look like, I try and avoid the mum and dad scenario. It's like there are different families. There's
Aw.
some where dad lives in dad's house, mum lives in mum's house. That's my situation.
Yeah.
And then there's like different combinations, 2 dads, 2 mums, all these things. I try and expose that to them, that there is no one sort of family.
Yeah.
Things like that.
No, I love that. That's I mean, that's the way to do it. I mean, to just expose them to all that you can and to be open about that. Because when it's so rigid, like, I don't know, I just think about me growing up. I only knew, husband, wife.
Yeah, that formula, and you
Yeah.
feel compelled to fit that mold.
Yeah, like through the
Uh,
heterosexual
yeah,
lens, sort of.
exactly. And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
And you're like,
If my
Sapphics
kid,
are here. Like, we're here. Look, look
do
around.
whatever you want. If you
Yeah.
want to do that, do it. I'm not here to tell you what not to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No, I
I
love
hope I
that.
create a safe environment for them to just express themselves
Yeah.
through whatever they're into.
No, it really sounds like you are. For
We
real.
try. We
Oh,
try.
just like, do they ever watch you work or draw? I mean,
No, they actually don't. Because
what is your drawing process like? Like, what is your process like?
so I generally want to have 2 to 3 solid hours in my zone, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like 1 hour is just not enough. And to have 2 to 3 hours of no interruption means my kids can't really be with me because they will need something or want something during that period.
That's true.
Um,
Now that I think
yeah,
about it, I'm like, 2 kids next to me when I'm painting, can't see it.
yeah,
I'd be
it's
like,
just
wait, what are
you
they?
can't be in your zone in
Yeah.
that kind of space. So I co-parent with my ex. So one
Mm-hmm.
week I have them, one week I don't. So the weeks that I don't, that's when I tend to draw. Because I need that good 2 to 3 hours to just get in the zone. Because the first hour is like a warm up. They do see a process in the sense that I'll show them a drawing and it might be just half done. And then when they come back a week later, they see it complete and they're like, wow,
Aw,
wow. Like
I
they
love
see
that.
that. So yeah. And they've seen my Instagram
Yeah.
videos and things like that. And they're like, can we watch that again? Can we watch that again?
Aw,
And I'll be like, yeah, we can watch it again.
it's so amazing. They're like, my mom's
Yeah.
an artist. Like, I could just imagine them. It's so, it's inspiring to see someone that's creating, like, that. I'm thinking, like, if my mom was an artist, I'd be like, oh my God, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
that would be cool. Now that you say that, I'm a cool mom.
Yeah, you're a cool mom. No, you are though. I mean, look at what you're creating. It's incredible. How
Yeah.
long does one take? One of your drawings?
Uh, Average 10 hours, um, which I've heard is really fast.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it sounds, I don't really time mine, honestly. Like I go by sessions. I'm not a good at counting stuff. Like keeping track of
Yeah.
hours. But no, that
Oh,
seems quick
yeah,
for a
two to
drawing.
three weeks. 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Um,
That's how my
uh,
brain, I'm like, okay, that
yeah,
makes sense.
2 to 3 weeks with 1 week no kid. With 1 week kids. So really, it's just 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Um, that it, yeah, because I find if I draw any more than like 20 plus, I get bored.
Yeah.
Like,
No, there is a moment I feel where it's like your eyes kind of blur over to it. Like
yeah,
it gets like a
you
numbing from your,
desensitize to it.
yeah.
You've seen it so much. You're like, I don't see the things anymore.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
was
what
trying
am
to
I
capture.
looking at? I really don't like, I mean, I like to look at them after. I don't know if you're like this, but like I don't really see them anymore. Like you said, it's just a
Yeah,
strange thing.
yeah.
Do you feel like that
But
with yours after you put them
yeah,
up?
I do. But I love seeing it through other people's eyes. Like that 3-panel one that I just showed you on the phone, and seeing it through your eyes makes me relive the moment again of when I
Yeah.
saw it. I was like, oh yeah, I felt the same way.
And that's really special, like with showing in person, because you can see someone's reaction versus we're always sharing on Instagram. Do you ever want to or like have the, you know, the calling to show your work in like a gallery setting or
Yes, I do. And I want to be the creep in the corner watching everyone's reactions. Um, yeah, I think that's something I think we miss when we post on social media. We don't get to see the
yeah.
audience react. I wish I could see that more.
Yeah,
It's
like the
hilarious. It's
comment.
like,
We get comments, but I don't
oh
know.
yeah, that's true, but not everyone comments,
Yeah.
and the body language speaks more sometimes when you see them like step back
Yeah.
and like look at what you've done. Like, funny story, I had my landlord come through to check the place, and they're like, it's like a art gallery in here. And they
Like
were
it
like
is.
looking at my drawings. I was like, wow, this is kind of cool to see
Aw.
their reaction.
Yeah. What did they
Yeah.
think?
They thought it was amazing, and one of the girls with the landlord really loved the eye one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was like, I love that one. I think a lot of people could relate to it.
Aw.
And then a few months later, the landlord said, hey, is it possible to buy that original from you? Because her friend that came with her, it really, really connected with her. Is it possible to buy that original? And I said, I'm so flattered that she loved it so much, even months after, but I can't sell it because it's actually so sentimental to
Yeah.
me and my journey. But I can do a version for her.
Yeah.
So I did a version, and she was surprised with it on her birthday.
Aw, that's beautiful.
Yeah, but it's so cool that uh, people can connect uh, with my art. But yeah, I wish I could see the
The
live
reaction.
feedback. Yeah.
There any other ones that you Oh, I was gonna ask you what's your favorite piece you've ever done, but I feel like it's the eye.
No,
It's
it's
not?
not. I think that, yeah, the eye is really sentimental. Like, it
Mhm.
takes me back to a moment in time in my life. That's quite painful, but powerful at the same time.
Yeah.
But my favorite, oh, it's like asking your favorite child.
Yeah, I know, isn't it? When people ask me, I'm like, oh, I have so many.
Yeah,
They're all
I
our
think
children.
they are all our children. But I think right now it's the three panel one that I just shared with you that
Yeah,
I can't share.
that's my favorite too.
Uh, yeah, that's my favorite so far. Yeah, but every time I draw, there's something I love about each of my drawings. Um, yeah, and now I'm working on a realistic one.
I have
Which
been
is like,
watching all your stories of this one and I'm obsessed. I love when you were doing the eraser on the
yes, the
skin.
needed,
I was
yeah,
watching that and I'm like, the patience. I'm like obsessed with drawing because I haven't drawn like in a long time. An actual just drawing with just a pencil or I haven't used charcoal, but I'm just so fascinated by it. And I love all of the shadows and it's incredible. I can't wait to see when you finish it.
Yeah, I was hoping to finish it last night, but yeah, didn't have enough time. So it's gonna be a week until I come back to this. That's the challenge. Yeah, I wish I could. Like, what I find amazing with you is you made it a career. You can be a full-time artist, and I hope to be able to get to that point one day. Uh, Unfortunately, I need to be full-time in my other job.
Yeah.
That doesn't allow for a lot of creativity. Um,
But it's
just to pay the
marketing.
bills.
You said it's
Yes.
marketing.
Yes. I'm in marketing. I work at a tech startup. So it's very fast paced, a lot of growth, marketing. So earlier I mentioned, I was into graphic design and everything like that. And
Yeah.
similar to you, I realized within 6 months I hated it. I
Wow.
hate working with clients. They don't know what they want. They just say, I don't like it, make it better. And you're like,
Yeah, it's the heart that's in art. Actually, that
yeah.
there is, or wait, in heart there is art. Sorry. I was like, what is the quote? There's definitely a quote there. But it's amazing that you have like you can balance both of them and it's like you can be like analytical in your job and then have your art as well.
1,000%. It's I don't know what I do actually without this vehicle to be creative. But if
Hmm.
I didn't go back to my charcoal drawing, I think I'd be quite miserable actually.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, but it's interesting. A lot of people have told me, Irene, how do you have time? How do you have time to do it when you're like a single parent half the time, and you have a full-time job, but you like create, uh, and I don't know how I do it. I think you have to make time for it.
Yeah, you got to carve it out.
Yeah, have a purpose behind it, because if you don't, it's really easy to just fall into, oh, I'll just watch some Netflix. It's like, no,
Or
I'm not
scroll
gonna watch.
TikTok or Instagram. That's
Oh
my
my god,
downfall. I'm
TikTok.
like, oh gosh, I'm doom scrolling again. Like after I get home from the studio, I'm just like on my couch, on just like scrolling through. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to stop doing this. But there's only a certain amount of time you can. Like you always go back to the process, and it is. I feel like it fuels us.
It does. It does. Uh, I did have a moment though where I was really uninspired and I didn't draw for over a month, and I was actually slightly scared.
Really.
Yes. I think it was after this drawing. I didn't draw for over a month because nothing inspired me. And it was a scary place because I was like, wow, I found something that lit me up again
Hmm.
and helped me find myself again. And to be uninspired, I was like, I don't want to not do this for another 20 years. I don't want to go back to that. I can't. I
Yeah.
can't go back to that. So actually, if you look at my feed, after this, that's when all the sapphic stuff really.
You were like, let's go.
Yes, okay, let's do this. And funnily enough, the following drawing is this. Do you mind? I'll quickly go grab it.
Yeah, no, of course.
After this, I got lost again. And I wasn't drawing for almost over a month, almost 2 months, and I was starting to worry, like, oh shit. But then one day I saw a reference photo. I was like, I need to capture that and elevate it with charcoal. And we need to see more of this, more art like this. And so I went the Sapphic path after that.
Yes.
And now I
Yes.
haven't lost it.
To
I
the
haven't lost.
bright side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the eye, and women, but now Sapphic.
The thong that I'm looking at. Oh my God. Yes. I love that one so much. The
This
angle.
is the one. Yeah, the perspective and like you look twice.
Yeah.
I
There's,
remember showing this to a friend, and she's like, "Oh, she's like holding a napkin or whatever." And
is she queer, this friend?
no, she's straight.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Exactly. There's a female gaze, and then there's the sapphic. Like a sapphic woman would look and be like, "Oh shit, yes." Well, you know what's going on.
yeah,
It's there's like an atmosphere to these compositions that you pick that I'm really drawn to. It's like the body morphs into landscape. It's weird because it's like you said you started with, well, cityscapes, but landscapes, and it's almost like the combination of both in the compositions. Oh no, that's what I
I,
see.
I've never heard it described that way, and I love it. It's true. It's a body of work, like,
Yeah.
and I'm really you can I don't know. I look at this and it evokes a feeling.
Oh, it
And
evokes a feeling for sure. Yes.
and
Uh,
and I like the feeling of, should I be looking at that? But I want to keep looking.
yeah, there's a first person perspective to it as well. Like you
Yeah.
can look into it and you're like, you're the eyes. There's no eyes. It's like you're seeing
Yeah.
it.
That's,
It's not like third
that's,
person.
yeah. And so I try and capture these kind of rare moments uh in my art.
The
I don't want to
unseen, like you said before, it is. It's like the unseen. Like when are you ever going to see that? So you're like dropping the viewer right into that really intimate space.
yeah, yeah. And I actually have that behind my wall when I have my work meetings.
Perfect.
But no one has paid enough attention to be like,
Yeah, I was gonna say, does anybody comment on them if they see them in the background?
uh sometimes like I do a rotation of my latest drawings. Sometimes, yeah, they do. They're like, "Oh, what's that?" And then I show it, and they're like, "Ooh," and
I
then I'll
can't
be
get
like,
over the
"I drew
napkin.
that."
I can't get over the napkin comment. That just came back to me. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had to correct her and everything. Because she's an artist as well, so she was like giving me
Uh,
feedback. So I was like,
yeah.
"Oh, hey, what do you think of this? This is," because I was in that whole drought of not
Uh,
being inspired, and I was like, "Oh, I'm inspired now."
yeah. Have you ever
What do
thought
you think?
about your own reference images or taking your own or photography?
Oh my god, that would be a dream of mine. Like at uni, I actually did a course in photography, black and white film.
Oh,
Yeah, so I was like in the dark room, being all nerdy, being by myself.
no, I
There's no
took a
city side.
photography class too, and the film that room, I liked the dark room. I was like, this is
Yes,
nice.
it's just like peace and
Yeah,
quiet.
nobody's in it but me. This is perfect. That's exactly where
Yeah,
I need to
it's like
be.
that red kind of
Yeah, the
vibe.
mood. Yeah,
Yeah.
moodiness.
Um, yes, I would love to take my own reference photos because a lot of the time I would look at a photo and be like, oh, they missed an opportunity here. If they
Yeah.
only put a hand and a finger and just slightly took off her bra strap ever so subtly, it would have elevated the moment. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you missed an opportunity here. And then I'll see other persons, oh, if they only did this, that. So, yes, I wish I could take my own reference photos. But in saying that, I don't have a line of women wanting to pose
I
for me.
mean, I feel like you could. That's how I feel though too, because I've been taking my own reference. I've worked off of like people's reference photos, of course, that other people have taken, but I've been really like, I need to take my own reference. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
been like something that I love that control, having the control over what what's happening and setting up, like having the vision and then setting it up with models. I'm very introverted. So it's like taking that step and connecting with people and then creating that space where they're going to feel free to be themselves. Like that's a whole other part of it for me that's like been a challenge, but like in a good way. I feel like you would
Yeah.
love it. And you could also
Yeah.
get people, honestly. You really could.
Oh, hit me up, people. But live in
Yeah, if
Australia.
you want to, yeah, if you're in Australia.
In Sydney. In
That's
Sydney
the hard
specifically.
part too, is like location. Well, you're in a city, so that's better. I feel like I'm just in this like little beach town. I'm like,
Well,
where's the Sapphics? Like,
they're all
please.
in Europe.
I know. Yeah, get Scarlett and Freya to model.
They're all in Europe. Yeah, because I have a lot of ideas, and I even went the route of maybe I can use AI to like, but I'm like, no, I don't like, I don't, I don't think
Not the
it's
AI
gonna.
bots.
Yeah,
I've
I'm like,
honestly like thought about, yeah, going in there, and I don't even know how you would do it, just like typing something
describe
in.
the moment.
But then I don't know, it's going against the grain. Like that's how it feels.
Yeah, I completely agree. It feels very soulless. Like there's no energy there.
Yeah.
I'm doing a text prompt to bring up a reference
A
photo.
reference that you're then going to go in with literally a stick of, I was going to say a stick of dirt, but charcoal, literally, like you're using
Yeah,
your hands. Like it's a physical creation that you're doing with your energy. Like
the
it,
energy.
I don't know. That's charcoal. You're right. It has a texture. It's like you're creating from literally this block or a pencil, but
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I would love to. I have so many ideas. Um, so many ideas.
have you
Yeah,
ever
and
worked
it's
in any other mediums or like have you ever painted?
so I've tried painting, and I get RSI. So like, if you see my drawings, I actually draw with a brush half the time. Um, but the thing with painting is you can't really lean on the thing,
Mm.
right?
You can use a maul stick.
Oh, well, I find that if
But
I
you draw
do
down
this,
though.
yeah, I draw down. It's not this
Ah,
way. Because if I do this for too long, I start to feel pain.
you should
So
get a mall stick though. Literally just a stick with like I have it over here. Do you want me to grab it? I want to show you it. Just to describe, because this could help. I don't know, but like you put like it's just a cloth and you just get a stick and you can like lean it on the wall and then you just, rest your hand on it. So if I'm doing like a detailed thing on my painting, like I'll have it and then just do that. So you don't
okay.
have to hold your arm up because I sometimes get lazy and I'm like holding my elbow like that, but you're really supposed to use this.
Oh,
Yeah. But and
yeah.
it's like you just rest it and then you can,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. You might like it.
Because
If you-
I've done color theory and everything like that.
I'm just gonna
But yeah, I've always
throw it.
like, it's just after 15 minutes, it's just like, oh, this is actually hurting me now. I haven't really ever delved into um painting, and it's so hard. I don't know how you do it.
I feel like inversely the same about you. Like whenever I'm drawing or if I'm sketching, I used to do a lot of colored pencil like 6 years ago though, not recent. Um, I would just every time I would draw, I would just want to put layer like I just have the need to use a brush and just like pound the color and the texture. I don't know. I love
But
color.
your
I love
pencil drawings are so good. Like the flower one,
Oh
the
yeah. And
I
I'll take it
really
into
like it.
Procreate and I'll like add some digital
Yeah,
touches.
yeah, yeah.
I should
I
try
can't do
just a
digital.
drawing.
Yeah, try. I can't promise that I'll try. painting.
I know.
I've tried watercolors and I'm like, not my vibe. Not my vibe. I can't
No,
deal with it.
same. I like gouache sometimes. Gouache is a little bit thicker than watercolor. I just, even with like watercolor, yeah, I need oil. Like I'm just so used to oil and I love it. It's just, I don't know, we each have our own medium, I guess. But I think that they both can help. Like if you draw more, when I sketch more, I get more painting ideas, like just like basic ones in my sketchbook. Do you keep a sketchbook or do you do just your drawings?
I don't have a sketchbook.
Oh
I
my God.
I know. I think a lot of people find this really like strange. I don't I don't sketch.
I
I
actually
start
have mine right
something
here.
and I end something. It's just, yeah, the
Like,
closest I have to a, like the great thing about sketchbooks is that it's portable, right? And you can do it whenever you want. It doesn't have to be perfect.
exactly. And that's, I tend to do very perfect, like my paintings in my head, I'm like, I need it to be perfect. But then a sketchbook is like, I can do whatever. Like, look at this one of the legs that I did. I don't know. I just do some just random ones, but it helps just to get the
Yeah.
ideas out.
No,
Kind of
100%. I can't. I feel like if I sketch something and I like it, I want to frame it.
yeah. Yeah, it does
Um,
feel because some of these I'm like, I really do like them and I want them to
yeah,
be
you need,
out.
but it's like
It's like
trapped in a
clothes.
book.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So
It's unseen in here, but like putting it
yeah,
out there, it's different.
exactly. So this is the closest I have to a sketchbook. So like it's portable. I don't like
Oh
it's
yeah,
whatever.
Bristol.
Yeah, but oh my God, I had a drawing in here.
You forgot about it.
Where's my sketch? Where's my sketch?
It ran
Here.
away.
Oh, okay. I got the wrong one. Wait, did I? Do I have the wrong one? Okay. So yeah, this is closest because it's portable. It's not too big.
Yeah.
This is a sketch for me.
That is a full scale. That is a drawing. That is a drawing. That is a beautiful drawing.
So I can't sketch. I have to do this.
I know. I get it though, because that's like I can't do a painting study. It turns into that's just this was supposed to be a painting study, and even that one, and I end up doing full scale paintings. It's like, why not? If I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna go all in.
Exactly. So I'm like,
I get
I
that.
don't sketch. I don't sketch. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, because I recently went overseas for a few weeks, 3 weeks, and I thought about taking a sketchbook with
Yeah.
me. But then I was like, no, because I'm just going to be annoyed that I can't actually have a beautiful finished product. It'd just be this thing trapped in a notebook. I was like, no, I'm not bringing any art tools, whatever.
But
I
that's
just
the
have to
only
deal
time
with
I
it.
sketch is when I travel though. Like not in my day to day. Because
Okay.
it's like I need something. Because if I can't, I mean, I have so many materials now that it's like, at least if I have that, if I have an idea, I can get it out. But you're just like, I can't, I can't fully draw. So now I'm just not going to
I'm just
sketch.
not going to draw.
I'm just
I'm very,
cutting it off, all or nothing. Very
yes,
Aries vibes, I have to say. Call out your.
0-100. That's it. Nothing in between here. Um,
I love it though. No, I can really relate to that. Whenever you're drawing, do you listen to any like music, audiobooks? What do you have playing
yeah,
in the
I'm not
background?
one of those people that listens to true crime. I listen
Makes
to
sense.
I have a like speakers in my room. Apologies to my neighbors as I'm drawing in the middle of the night. I blast music really loudly. I listen to 90s R&B, Taylor Swift, obviously.
I wasn't gonna ask. I was like, oh, should I know? Are you a Swiftie or no?
Yeah, of course I am. It's mandatory.
Yeah. It's the
Um,
prerequisite for coming on this podcast. You
okay,
gotta be.
cool.
No, I'm just kidding.
I got it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. The poets, dead poets,
Tortured
whatever
poets.
department. That the photography in that, I'm like, I'm definitely drawing Taylor Swift.
Oh my God, yeah, it's stunning. I was like, wow, this is my aesthetic. Like this is from the Sapphic gaze.
Yeah.
This is like just the little subtle things about the shoot. And it was shot, the photo was shot by a woman as well. A female photographer. So
Oh, you can tell.
you can tell, really. I mean, oh, I'm so excited for that album.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Oh,
be.
Anyway, back to
I
the
hope you
music.
draw it.
Yeah, I just listened to 90s R&B 2000s. I love remixes. Yeah, that's my thing. I like
So more like
remixing.
fast paced, or do you sometimes do like sad, depending on what your mood is, I guess?
I try and avoid sad
See,
because I
sometimes
just
I sit in it. I'm like, we're playing Hoax, we're playing the sad songs and just like sitting in it. Sometimes it feels good. So I just wondered if you had a similar
oh no,
experience
because then
for
I
your
get all
sad wall.
teary and then it blotch onto the drawing and then it ruin the
That's
drawing.
true. Yeah, because it's below. Yeah, I'm just painting
Yeah.
completely upright.
But I do dance while I draw. I don't show that.
No,
Show that.
same.
I just love, yeah, it's just like the energy and you're in it
No, I
and you're
get
like
that.
dancing.
No, and sometimes, yeah, you get up at certain points in the song and like, well, I go and I look from a different perspective, but I'll like dance and move around and move my body and then go back into it. I think it's really, I don't know, like you think it's like so static when you're in your drawing position or like painting, but it's really like moving activates it, I find. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like coming alive, like the energy. It's just
Yeah.
the music, you're in your flow and you can't help but want to move. That's how I feel.
Yeah. It's like you got it, like the energy is coming out and you just have to move around
Express
and
it.
express. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought actually about creating a playlist of what I'm listening to and sharing it with the audience. It's like, this is what I'm listening to, like very sexual.
Same. I need to do a spicy painting. I have a Sapphic playlist if you want it. That I created with, like I put it on my story and people were giving their input on their favorite Sapphic songs. And I want to do a separate one though of like spicy painting songs because there's a certain one I go to and I'm like, yeah, this is the one.
Getting you in the mood.
Yeah. Or I listen to, Sapphic audiobooks, but
I don't know how you do Sapphic audiobooks. That's like,
you got to
I
have
get
some
too
control.
distracted.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the self-control has to be like very strong because I mean I will listen to like straight up like very spicy ones. Like yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. But I don't know. And then I'll switch it though. If I can't take all the words, then I'll go back to um music usually.
So on the Sapphic ones, do you prefer to listen to the audiobook or read the book?
Which ones? My
When you're listening to spicy Sapphic audio
Mhm.
books, do you prefer to listen to it or read the book itself? Out of
Oh,
curiosity.
no. Listen, sorry, Audible. Yeah, no, I listen to the book. I don't read it.
That's so interesting because I think as artists, we're very visual, right? We want to look at something. I really struggle with listening.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like
If I'm focusing on something, I can create like it's like a movie in my head. I don't know.
ah, but how
As
can you
I'm
have a
creating
movie in your
something. I don't
yeah,
know.
as you're creating
It is
something,
kind
how
of
can
a
you have a
weird
movie?
like inception of sapphicness in my life. It's like I'm listening to it, but then it's playing and then I'm also like physically painting. I don't know.
how you
I listened to a very spicy one, Anna Stone books. I always recommend for I Can See Her, the Up Against the Wall one that was spicy. I'm trying to think. I don't know. And then sometimes I listen to ASMR. It's just it's all over the place.
it's good.
You
You have
should try it
diversity.
though,
No, I can't. I just like
especially with your art too. I feel like it would complement it, and you could like really get into it.
I'm really I struggle because I'm like so in the zone
Yeah.
that everything kind of falls away except for music, like because of the rhythm and everything.
Yeah.
So I really struggle with audiobooks. I need to see the words in front of me. I need to,
No, that makes
because
sense.
the words pull me in. The audio, the voice of the person, it has such a massive impact on me.
It does. There's a good Sapphic one that's really good. That's another thing. It's got to be a good narrator, I do have to say.
Yes.
The guy, I'm not listening to it. But there's this woman that narrates the ones I listen to, and very good.
Okay,
She does a good job.
You got to share.
I will.
I get turned off. I'm like, I don't like her voice. Not really. I'm not listening to this.
What artists have influenced your work, like past or present?
So this is a really interesting question because I think I'm bad. Bad in the sense that I don't really follow artists. I don't know. When you ask me that question, it takes me back to high school. And like, oh, these are the artists you're supposed to learn, and impressionism and all the different techniques. And I'm like, I couldn't give a flying F. I'm like, I just want to create what I want to create.
No, I get that. No, I get that 100%.
So when you ask me that question, it takes me back to school. It's like, which artists?
Which artists from history are your favorites?
Exactly.
You're like,
so when I hear that question, I'm like, Taylor Swift comes to mind, but she's not a visual artist, but she's a lyrical artist, and the words and how they create a picture in your mind.
Perfect answer. That's all you had to say.
Taylor Swift. So it's like, okay, Taylor Swift, because the picture she creates in her mind through her music is amazing. And I love that about her.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I don't know the artist's name, but it's because the love of women, or because of the love of women. That's her Instagram. It's just these simple illustrations.
No, I know what you mean though. Because if I like oversaturate what I'm looking at, like, and I'm taking almost too much inspiration in, I have to like limit myself because I'm not focused on what I'm doing. Like it's like I have to put the screen up and be like, okay, I'm inspired by these. I can take what I want, but at the same time, I got to be focused on what I'm doing. It's like a balance for sure. Because there's so much to take in on Instagram. Everywhere you look, like there's art everywhere and you can curate it, but then it's almost like an oversaturation when you see too much. So it's like keeping and like staying in your lane.
Nope. Yes. Because you don't want to get lost in what
other people are doing.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Such a different style than yours too. That's interesting.
I really
simple.
Like it. Very simple, but like these
powerful,
intimate moments.
Wow, I wanna chat with her. Like these are gorgeous.
Yeah, like,
I've never seen their work.
You've never seen this artist? I don't know her name.
I know. I was gonna say that's why I said there. I don't know.
That's what I think. I like artists that are very different from me, but from the Sapphic gaze. So obviously, I like your art as well because it's like it's a painting, it's color. You have a narrative. Because in mine, I don't share a narrative. I just draw it, the unseen, and let people think what they think.
Yeah.
You have a narrative in yours, a lot of yours.
Yeah.
Which is different and interesting for me because I was like, oh, I can relate to that moment in time.
Yeah.
Like the situationship one.
Yeah. That one for sure.
Because I saw it, the situationship one. Is that what it's called? I don't
know. It's rinse and repeat is the bathtub. Yes. And then Woman in the Mirror is kind of the first one to the series.
Because I looked at the rinse and repeat one, the bathtub one. I looked at it and I'm like, I can feel what she's feeling. Like, obviously, she's just coming out of a situationship, or she's come to a realization around a situationship.
Yeah.
I can feel the feeling, but at the same time, I'm like, I would never sit in a bathtub in that position uh, with a glass of wine because I don't drink. So part of me is like, how would I be in that moment if I wasn't in the bathtub? And I thought I'd be on the floor.
That's another idea too. That's a good,
I'd be on the floor,
yeah.
and it would remind me of that colorful drawing. Here, I have to get it. I'm talking about it.
Yeah,
So
no,
do you
get
mind
it.
if I quickly get
No,
it?
go ahead.
Okay, I can relate to that, but physically I can't because I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
that's interesting.
I'd be more like this, my position
Wow.
of my body on the floor, hiding and closed. What I show to the outside world may look okay in color, but my body language is saying a completely different story.
Wow. That's what, yeah, whenever you were explaining the vibrancy of the color, it's so true because it doesn't matter what the colors are. I just see her just distraught and in her own world.
Yeah,
And
and
just
the
in this
darkness
very
is coming
limiting,
in.
yeah, it's looming over her shoulder. Wow.
um, that's
And the choice too to position her a little bit above the, where you're looking, it's like she's
yes.
separate.
There's the white. There's the
Yeah,
whiteness.
there's like the
I think
gap.
it's important. This bit.
Yeah, it creates that distance. You're just gazing at her.
So that's part of my sidewalk.
I was gonna say, rinse and repeat would fit on your sad wall for sure.
Yeah.
It's interesting too, you said you could connect even though you don't drink. Alcohol for me is like, because I don't really drink at all. And it's used as like a symbol for pain. I find it's like always when there's pain or a bit of like temptation, it could be sensual or it could go down the sad wall,
Yeah.
spiral. It's like if there's alcohol, there's that like kind of like the darkness coming around, like it's there. There's like the pain is there. That's sort of how I interpret it. So it's interesting that you mentioned the wine in it.
Yes, because I know a lot of people use alcohol as a numbing
Hmm.
tool to like numb or just like to escape what they're feeling.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I just feel
You just
like
you just
collapse on the floor.
feel it all.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
That'll be my next one. Woman on bathroom floor.
Yeah, I don't follow a lot of artists,
Yeah.
but there's a handful that I do, and yeah, I generally choose someone that's quite different, like you with your painting. That because of the love of women, it's quite different as well.
Yeah.
It's just
That's
yeah,
very
it's cool
interesting.
to see other women kind of do similar subject matter but in a different medium. It
Yeah.
brings like a new flavor, and that's what I like.
Exactly. And whenever I saw yours first, that's exactly what I thought. I'm like, oh my gosh, this reminds me of my own work. And like the sapphic gaze, I feel like I can just feel it. But then it's a different, yeah, like you said, a different flavor. There's this, this other medium that it can exist in. And I think that's really a beautiful visual. And that we have more sapphic artists. Like, I love that.
And also, I haven't found anyone like me.
No, I haven't seen any sapphic charcoal artists besides
Yeah, I
you.
haven't seen it. Like I've Googled it. I've Googled the heck out of it, trying to find other artists to inspire me. I'm like, I can't find anything. Everything looks like from the Renaissance when you're talking about charcoal drawings.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is so old school. Drawing like that with this wonderful medium when you could do so much more with it.
What is something that you want, your viewers or people to take away from your work?
Oh, very good question.
Sorry, it just came to me. I was like, ask her this.
What do I want them to take away? I think a lot of us with like popular media and everything, we see the usual stuff, and most of the time we feel unseen. And so I hope my art, when they look at it, will be like, oh, that's me. I've never seen me depicted like that before, or I've never seen what I've wanted before put in front of me like that.
Yeah.
And as a result, it's like, wow, there's someone else that sees this. I'm not alone. Yeah.
I love how it keeps coming back to as well, like a common thread that you've been talking about too, is just that element of being seen and like being seen for who you are.
I think, like, as a queer person, I think a lot of us, I don't know, I'm kind of old. I don't even know my age.
I don't know.
I turned 40 in 4 weeks.
I'm 28 for reference.
So for me, growing up, you don't see queerness or anything like that. Wait, what's the original question? Anyway,
What do you want people to take from it? I was
yeah.
actually going on off of what you just said. I was actually going to say, like, it's sort of like, do you ever feel like you're creating for that younger version of yourself that didn't see that essentially?
Yeah, there's a quote out there. I can't remember. I'm gonna butcher it, but it's like, be the hero that you needed for your younger self.
Yeah.
Right? Like if the teenage Irene could see the Irene today, she'd be flawed. She'd be like, what?
Yeah, you can do that. You can draw Sapphic drawings and share
that's
them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. And people love that. Like, what?
I know.
How?
It's so important.
Yeah. So, because growing up, I never hid my sexuality. Like, if anyone asked me, do you like women or whatever, I'll just be like, yeah. But the thing is, no one asked. And I didn't feel the need to tell. Like, and so you walk around feeling quite unseen because it's like they don't ask, so they don't care enough, potentially, or whatever, or they don't want to hear it. Like, I don't want to hear that side of you. So you walk around being only 80% of yourself. Like, you're not being 100% your authentic self.
Yeah.
And over time, that wears on you, because then you start thinking, oh, people only like me for this side, but there's actually this other side of me. And I feel like I would scare people if I were to share that part of me. I hope my art helps people to feel like, don't be scared. Don't be shy. Oh, it's okay to be shy, but like, step into who you are. It's okay. There are people here that can understand, and they see you and they love it. They absolutely love it.
And it's so liberating too. When you can be seen and also like receive love for that. Like that was a whole learning experience for me too when I finally just painted two women together. And I didn't even think about it, and then I didn't expect people to react the way that they did, and it's like, wow. I don't know, when you actually are open and share yourself in an authentic way and get receive that in a loving way. There's no feeling like that, because you're just giving your soul and your heart, and it's like being I don't know, just being held and seen, held up to the light instead of just pushed to the darkness.
Yeah. It's interesting, the not asking bit, because I think it can be seen in two ways. They're either not asking because that conversation is uncomfortable for them. And at the same time, it could be there's almost conditions to their love. And if I don't know it for sure, then it's okay.
Yeah.
Why would I open Pandora's box and unlove you? I would just not ask.
Yeah.
Um, but funnily enough, I was looking, you know how there's those Instagram trends like, oh, what's your photo when you were like 19 or whatever?
Yeah.
I was looking for mine and I saw it and I shared it with a friend. And she's like, Irene, how did no one know you were gay? You are like clearly the Asian Tina from L1. And I'm like, yeah, no, I was trying to give bet energy here.
Yes,
Not
always
Tina
give
energy.
bet. No, that's so
Um,
funny. Asian
but
Tina.
yeah, she's like, you're clearly, obviously queer.
It is interesting
But
though
no
when you
one
look
asked.
back. I'm like,
Yeah.
Mom, how did you not see I was like, oh, I was a tomboy, of course, but like I looked gay as a kid. Like, I don't know. We're like
Yeah.
be fishing with my dad. It's weird when you look back and you can see those parallels and be like, she's gay.
But no one asked. No
Yeah.
one asked. I still have my parents ignoring the fact.
Yeah. My parents
Like,
don't ask me either about my paintings, but
but they're happy for you and
yeah,
you
no,
do.
they support me for sure. I think it's just there's that sort of like boundary, not boundary. They just don't really understand. Well, my brother is just like, you paint naked women. I'm like, I honestly really don't even paint naked. I don't paint naked women in any of mine. I mean, Lavender Haze, yeah, it is, but it's like there's just the bare like I can explain to him what I'm doing or try to explain the Sapphic gaze, and it's like I don't know. There's just sort of a barrier to that. You feel that with your parents when they look at your work?
So they haven't been upstairs in a very long time, so they don't know what's going on up here. uh, but they've seen some of the sexier stuff, and my dad has commented on it, but he commented on it from a craft perspective. It's very beautiful and accurate. Like it looks like a woman, and he even says this is really really good. But he's never seen me, and I feel like if he saw it, it'd be like, I knew you were queer, but I'm not gonna talk to you about it because
Yeah.
that's a bit too much for me. I remember a very long time ago when I was like in my early 20s and like, you know, you dating or whatever. And he had a specific comment, which I forever remember. And he's told me, don't be gay. He said, don't be gay. People will laugh at you. People will make fun of you. Do not be gay. That's hard to hear.
Yeah. Wow.
And so when I look back at my photos, it's like, it's obvious. So
Wow.
it's obvious enough for him to tell me, don't be gay, but he would never like address it head on, like ask me about it or whatever.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting is that I've done the married thing. I married a white guy. I've done the have children. I have two beautiful kids. And I did the unthinkable. I left a man that I was married for 8 years. So I feel like now it's like I can do whatever the F I want. No one's gonna tell me, why aren't you married yet? Why don't you have kids yet? It's like I have done it already.
You're like, check, did it
Yeah.
already. Yeah.
And now I'm gonna be with a woman and I'm gonna draw my sapphic art.
I
Deal
love
with
that.
it.
No, I'm sorry that that was your experience with it. Like just hearing that, like I could feel, like I feel like I attach my shame from like certain experiences, things that my parents have said that like weren't as direct as what you had heard, because that is like unthinkable to say. Like I'm just like, oh my God, how would I have taken that in your shoes? And how would I carry that with me till now, to where you're at now? It's like amazing for you that you have moved through those and like you're where you're at and creating in such like a loud way. Like it's so empowering to know that like
Yeah.
you could have that experience and then be where you're at.
When you put it like that,
But that's
yeah.
still that's like, incredibly heavy to carry.
Yes. Because to be told that by your parents Well, my mum didn't say anything. She was just there, sitting there, not saying anything. And even though that hurts as well. It's like, okay, I can't be true to myself, at least with you anyway,
Yeah.
because this is your belief system, and I'm not here to change it.
Yeah.
So, all right,
And
that's the sitch.
like when someone doesn't respond and there's that like unreachability, that's almost, I don't want to say it's worse, because what you heard was the worst of the worst, but like not being able to reach someone, or them just being more like sitting back and almost complacent towards something that's deeply affecting you, that fucking hurts. Like, I don't know.
I
I'm just
think
like
it's both
imagining it.
really, really bad.
Yeah, it's just both a double-edged. Like it hurts
Yeah.
equally.
Yes.
But damn. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that though. I mean, that's, I feel like, gonna help people to hear if they've had a similar experience with their parents. I've definitely
Yeah.
had like my dad, my mom's come around a lot more for sure. My dad, he still doesn't really acknowledge it. Like I could show him something and it's what you said about like I don't really need to, like I don't want to know about, like if he's standing in front of it versus not seeing it at all. Um I don't know. It's just a different animal, I guess.
It probably triggers something in them. I like in
Yeah.
Asian culture, status is very important. So having a really good job, a home,
Yeah.
kids, blah blah blah, being respectable, and being queer, and not even being queer, but doing art. Art's a waste of time in our culture's mind. Like, why are you doing that? There's no point
Mhm.
in that.
Yeah.
You can't earn a living off that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Be an accountant, be a lawyer, be a doctor, be a dentist. That's where your value is, not
Yeah.
this. Um, what was my point? It's just the culture, Asian
Yes,
culture.
Asian
So
culture.
I lived with that pressure,
Hmm.
even as a teenager, not even being queer, but just being an artist. So to add the layer of queerness on top of all of that, it's just
Exactly. Yeah. It's like
yeah.
they accepted me being an artist. That was like the sapphic layer. It's like, oh shoot, you're really just going all in.
So it's probably why also I had that 20-year break of not
Yeah.
doing my art. I did it in a work function of being like a graphic designer and
Yeah.
then being a marketer.
I have one more question. It's a completely different tone of question than we just got into the depths there. It's sort of a more fun question. Um, so let's say we're having a sapphic dinner party where we can like draw and paint the women at the table. Um,
Okay.
and you have to pick 5 women, dead or alive, that you could draw. And you can also kiss one of them at the end. But who would you who would you pick to have at the dinner party?
But 5 women to draw
Yeah, that you
and
could
one to
draw.
kiss.
And like one of them you can kiss at the end. That was just like a little added thing.
I've never been asked such a question.
Sorry, we totally shifted perspectives here. But I just thought that'd be a fun last question to ask you.
Women I want to draw. Oh man. Can
I
I
know there's so
give me
many.
a
I was trying to think for me, and I'm like, I don't even know. I guess
What?
they don't have to be like romantic or like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
so that's what I was thinking.
It can be anything.
Because
Women that
the
inspire you.
first woman that I thought about was Maya Angelou, if I'm saying her name
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
because of her poetry.
That's a
And
beautiful answer.
yeah, like she's one of them
Yeah.
because her poetry and everything like that, I've connected with it. It's helped me through tough times, and I go back to quotes to kind of. So I'm like, I wanna depict her in charcoal
Yeah.
in a way that brings that energy. Like she's been through so much, and
Wow.
yet she's still so strong.
This is
Like,
such a beautiful answer. My brain went totally down the gutter. Like my brain,
you're like, all the sexy
I'm like
celebrities.
Kate Blanchett, Beth Porter.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, Taylor
so
Swift.
that's the first one. And in a vulnerable way, like almost nude, like, but in a
Wow.
position that's tasteful. But like, yeah, I want to draw her.
Yeah.
Another person that's come up is Brene Brown. I don't know if
Love
you
her. Yeah, no, I listened to one of her Netflix or on YouTube or one of her
yeah,
specials.
Daring Greatly. That book really,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Courage.
about vulnerability and like toxic masculinity and all that shit. And just being in your power. And there are quotes about light and darkness in her books.
Oh wow.
And obviously, I'm doing charcoal, so I want to draw her in light and darkness. And
I love
in my
that.
mind, I'm thinking she's done so many interviews, research so many things. She has this wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
I want to be able to capture that in a way that speaks to the light and dark.
Wow.
So
I'm
that's the
like,
second.
oh my God, this is an incredible table. Like, I'm excited for the dinner party. Honestly, though, like these are amazing answers.
Three more. Net
So
Porter.
well thought
Yes,
out.
Bet.
Bette Porter. Yeah, it could
Yeah,
be
Bet Porter.
fictional
Bet
too.
Porter. That energy
Oh, yes.
that she when you just like a puddle, like a mess.
Always a puddle. I really am. With anything sapphic, I'm just like, yep, immediately
Yeah, Bet
melting
Porter.
onto the floor.
Yeah, so I wanna draw her. Um, the other person I wanna draw is Zendaya.
Love her.
Oh, I actually have a
Stunning.
drawing of her.
I want to, do you have it? Oh, yeah, I want to
Yeah.
see. Yes.
So, have you watched Euphoria?
I look, I don't watch a lot of stuff. I know I need to watch Euphoria. Okay, I haven't, this is another confession. I haven't watched the entire L Word.
Okay, okay,
I'm gonna cut this part.
okay. It's gonna bleep that. That was
Yeah, let me
just
just cut that out.
offensive.
No, but
That was
I know.
offensive.
I know I haven't seen Euphoria. I haven't seen the entire I'm just gonna stop. You can continue yours.
No. We need to unpack this. Okay, I haven't seen Gen X or whatever the new one is
I have
called.
seen certain scenes. Like
Okay,
I've done my deep dives on each couple that I really like.
okay. But you haven't seen the original complete because the last season. Don't watch that. That's just shocking.
I know
You have to
about
watch
Jenny
it.
and yeah.
All right.
Look.
Okay. So this is a scene from Euphoria, which Zendaya stars in. Is she my third lady that I would
She's
draw
your
for?
fourth, right?
Oh yeah, Bet. Yeah.
Maya, Bet, Brene, and Zendaya.
Zendaya. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm there too.
And there's two parts to Zendaya, or one part, but this is the drawing I drew of her.
Oh,
She's in like a
I love the
suit.
mask. Yeah, the suit look
Yeah. What's
and the blurs in the back, the orange.
yeah, because it's lights, but this is actually a two-part drawing
Oh
because
wow.
this is her love interest.
Yes, I do know. I know that. See,
Yeah. And it's
wow.
Romeo and Juliet.
It's giving light. All of them are giving like a light, dark, inverse duality
Yeah.
to them, like the light and dark play.
Yes, even the framing, black frame, white frame. And so
I love it.
I picked Zendaya, how she portrays herself, like what she wears and everything.
Yeah,
Like she has this unique energy about her where she's just really real and true to herself.
definitely.
And I love her fashion sense because she can look really tomboy and she can look really femme. Does it in a way that's so effortless. It's just so she has this confidence about her. She owns it.
Yeah, no, she carries herself very well and like intellect, like she seems so smart and like imposed. And she is younger too. It's like,
Yeah, she's
no,
so
she has an
young.
energy. Yeah, she has an energy that she's confident and a badass
Badass, so
and
badass.
composed. And I don't know. I really like her too.
Like if I was like a little girl, I'd be like, I want to be like her.
Yeah, I know. And she's so
Right?
talented too. Yeah.
If you're so talented, confident, intellectual, communicate really well, and you see that through her posture, the way she
And just
dresses.
being a good role model too. Like you don't really hear anything. I haven't heard anything about her that's been like shocking or
Yeah. And you see her in
outrageous.
interviews, and it's just like, oh, we could be like besties.
Yeah, I really like her.
Yeah.
Who's your fifth?
Fifth. All right. Now I'll go down the gutter. Like,
Where my mind started.
hey, your mind stuff. It's really.
Exceptional answers thus far, just to say, with no
Oh,
prep.
there's this. Yeah. And this is the one I'd kiss. Priscilla Reyes. She's in this series called Stupid Wife.
Oh yeah,
She's in
she's
a few.
beautiful. Oh, I love. This looks like a drawing you would do, the black and white.
Yeah. So there's this great energy about her.
Good choice for the fifth.
Yeah, she's the shows that she's on, she's got really good. She's very confident in her sexuality because she plays a lesbian. Very confident in her
Oh
sexuality.
my God, I
Says
will be
what
researching for sure.
she says what she thinks.
Yeah.
Like if she's annoyed at you, she's gonna tell you she's annoyed at you, and she's got that energy.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
it's different from Bet Porter because I feel like she's softer,
Mm-hmm. Then
but
bet.
yeah, softer than Bet, but you'd still like drop to your knees and be like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I got it. She does give a softer energy. Bet is just, bet is bet. She's just total top energy vibe. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
So yeah, those are my
Nice.
5 women.
Love it. I think that'd be a great eventful dinner party for sure. Those are great answers though. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
Um,
What's your answer?
I was trying to think before because I'm like, I should probably come up with some. I feel like I'd have I'll do fictional too. I'll have Evelyn Hugo. I will have Kate Blanchett, Charlize Theron, Taylor Swift.
Wait, do you have a crush on Taylor Swift, or is it just more artistic crush?
Artistic crush. I mean, I think she's gorgeous, but no pun intended. But artistic crush for sure. Everyone has a crush on Taylor Swift. Well, not everybody, but the Sapphics, I feel like I should pick somebody that's, I mean, those are all, it would be a good conversation for sure. I'm like blanking now.
Now I'm thinking I should have invited Blake Lively.
Oh, yeah, I could invite Blake. I can invite Blake 'cause she's here right now in the studio.
Yeah.
I'll do Blake. That's a good one.
Because she has good energy in
Dressed
that A
in,
Simple Favor.
I was gonna say dressed in the Simple Favor like suit look
Yes.
of her with the umbrella. Good God, like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't.
Like her in that character with Bet Porter.
Oh my God.
It's like, oh
I
my God,
couldn't,
everything's
I
gonna
honestly
just
couldn't
go off.
handle that. Honestly, I
Yeah,
could
it'll
not.
be like, you just be whimpering on the floor.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Now I have to pick which one to kiss. That's a difficult question. Um,
Oh, yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
Not Evelyn. That's more, let me see. Charlize Theron.
oh,
I love her. She was like my
why?
first, I just think she's stunning and I have had the biggest crush on her since I was like in college. So I just feel like if I had to choose between them, it would be her.
Yeah.
But
That makes sense.
yeah, that's my 5 right now. I feel like I could just pick many others, but yeah, like an inspirational table and then the spicy table. That's how
I would
I'm
have given different answers if you asked me to
picturing
answer
it.
like
Yeah,
this.
picturing it in my head. Where can people find you? What are you currently working on?
I'm most active on Instagram. So if you go to Art by Irene Lee, LEE, I'm there. Please follow me because the algorithms
And
won't
go
let me
on
find
her
you.
website to see
Oh,
her new. Are you
oh
gonna put it
yeah. Oh
up?
yeah. Okay, I'll put it up. Yeah. The 3-panel artwork that we've been talking about, I'll put it on my website so you can see what we're like um talking about. And that is also artbyirenelee.com.
They can find your prints and originals on
And
there
original,
as
yes,
well.
yes, that's correct. And I'm also on TikTok, but it's just similar content to Instagram. I find TikTok hard
Yeah. It's
for the art
been
space.
getting, yeah.
I, I feel like I need to do more like talking at the camera content on TikTok,
Yeah.
and I've never done that before. Yeah, I don't
Should
know
go
if
for it. I've been going back and forth with TikTok because since they took all the music off and like all of that, I'm like, it's just a different, you know, different way to move about it. But it also I get shadow banned more on there, so I've kind of been sticking more to Instagram, honestly. But who knows? They're saying TikTok is gonna get supposedly taken down, but they always say that here in the US, so we shall see. But yeah, go follow her if you're not following her already and check out her website for sure. Thank you so much for being here and for being the first guest on the podcast. I'm so happy that we got to talk.
Thank you. Thank you for reaching out. I really enjoyed this session, and I hope your listeners enjoy it too. I hope they find something that really resonates with them.
Thank you so much for listening to that conversation. Honestly, I felt so energized after we talked, and I didn't even want to stop. We could have just kept going and talking, and I would have been okay with that. But for time constraints, we had to cut it off. I hope you liked the last little question. I think it's a question I'm going to ask all of my guests. My answer, now looking back, I would have had different answers. I kind of went with like a spicy blonde table is clearly what I chose. Because all of them are blonde, and also that's just where my brain went, clearly. But Irene had great answers, and I'm very impressed by them. So anyway, check out, if you're not following already, follow the Sapphic Studio on Instagram. Follow me, Halie Torres, if you're not already. Leave a review or a rating. It really helps. I love to read and see what people think, or leave a comment if you really liked it. And thank you for watching. I can't wait to bring on more artists.